That is super cool right there. And by smokeless, what that really means is a significantly reduced amount of smoke. Hold up a lot better in the long run. Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe, and let me tell you, today there is something super exciting for my family and I. We are a very outdoor-oriented family. Obviously, if you've been here some time, you know that we like fires. We like firewood. We live on a beautiful rural property in Oklahoma. We have lots of dead trees and other trees we're removing through forest management. And let's just say that leaves us with wood. Another thing we're left with is the love of sitting outside when the weather turns in the fall, sometimes even in the winter and in the springtime. We love sitting outside with a fire. And in the past, we've done that wherever we want, but it would be nice to take it to another level. Let me show you what's arrived. I think you might be interested in this. It's a heavy package, but it's not too heavy. I have all this flat space right here. I think this might be a great place to put this package. Let's see what's in here. We'll set this aside. I was wondering where those were. If you don't know anything about this, this is a Wolfe smokeless fire ring. I don't think it's technically considered a pit, but a ring rather. We're going to talk about that. I'm actually really excited about this. Make sure you have a sharp knife when you're doing this. That is super cool right there. Look at that. Stainless steel. That's going to be fantastic. You got these notches here. Should be a pretty simple build. Essentially, you got these hooks, and then you line them up in here, and you set it down. You kind of can't do this wrong. It just sits like that. All right. Look at that. The four main pieces slip together just like that. Now you have a series of rings top and bottom to hold it all together. They straddle the joints. It's going to be pretty easy, I think. It looks like there is not a top or a bottom. There is a slight burr here. I'm going to put the burr on the bottom side. Just like building a brick structure, you straddle the seams there. Got all your hardware here. This is actually super cool. Something that is really neat is you get this stainless hardware, but they also include the actual Allen or hex head for it. I brought all these extra things in metric and standard just so I'd have the right deal. With my drill, I didn't need that because they included that. That's a nice touch, Wolfe. Little tip for you. When you're working out in the field and you've got a bag of screws, I think many people will just rip this thing open. But just like my zip tie hack that I showed in the past, it's best just to pop a hole in the side like that and remove one screw at a time as needed. That way, if you drop your bag, your screws aren't going everywhere. See that? I'm on rocks. Oh, one came out, but I had to shake it quite a bit. Obviously, if that was cut wide open, every single one of those would have been on the ground. There we go. And likely, if you're building a fire pit, you're going to be doing it outside on some saw chips or some rocks like I am. We're just going to go ahead and just start these by finger here. Let me grab the next ring. This is so easy. There's 0 instructions. I had seen some videos in the past when this product got released. I felt confident I was going to be able to do this, no problem at all. Again, I'm going to place the burr on the bottom side. And that's just my preference during assembly. I believe these are like laser cut or CNC cut. I'm not exactly sure how they do these, but I can tell you right now that it's very nice. You're gonna notice there's no bottom to this thing. And that is, I think, an advantage. So by not having a bottom, when you have a fire that you let go, burn out overnight, and then it rains in the morning or overnight sometime, what happens is you end up with a bunch of mud in the bottom of it. And then when you don't clean it out, guess what happens on most fire pits? They rust out. We paid over $100 for a fire pit from a big box store one time. We got 1 season out of it. Yes, this fire pit is more expensive than something like that, but I think with the build quality, the style of fire pit that it is, the material and all that, I think that it's gonna hold up a lot better in the long run. So you have a ring like this, top and bottom. So once I get these in, we're gonna go ahead and get the bottom ones in as well. I do wanna go ahead and let you know that this video is sponsored by Wolfe Ridge. I had this project coming up here, and I started thinking about how I want to do a fire. And you know, I had seen these and I thought they were fantastic back in the day. When I'm assembling anything like this, I like to use the clutch so I don't over tighten right off the bat. And I'm just gonna take these in a little bit. I'm not gonna tighten them up way tight because I want to make sure I can get the bottom in. I mean, as you look at these right here, these match up beautifully. All right. This is the larger ring. It's the 30-inch model. There's some weight to it.
Probably should have put the bottom on first. Now the top might get scuffed.
Might, huh? We're gonna scuff it. I'll show you why. We're gonna be roasting marshmallows on it and everything.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't mind having a morning fire out here, honestly.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right, like if it wasn't windy and we weren't under a ban.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It'd be delightful.
My wife was just talking. We love having fires out here, everyone. It's absolutely fantastic. And we've actually burned lots of fire right in this area. But it's just been on the side of a hill. And I needed to make this pad because I want to make this useful right outside of our door. This is going to be a beautiful thing for us to invite friends and family, or just have the 4 of us come out here on our own. Now you notice there's a lot of stumps around here. We're planning on being able to have a lot of people. That was something that my wife insisted upon. I was thinking a little less big, but my wife had a vision for it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. As with all things on YouTube, this will be an edited video. I'm not exactly timing myself, but I will have an idea of how long it took based on my film length. I'm coming close to being done. I'm not hurrying. I'm repositioning cameras, and I'm talking to you all, and I'm learning as we go together, essentially. I don't think that this is a hard project to build at all. Very simple. It ships right to your door. That's how it came to my door. Not one screw too few, not one screw too many. What I'm gonna do, because this is the way I like to do things, is I'm gonna go ahead and put a 5/32 Allen on a ratchet, but I'm sure you could use this with an impact. Just don't get too crazy with it. I like to do this because I can feel it versus relying upon the tool. It's snugged up real nicely. My wife was right. I probably should have built it the other way first. But hey, this thing's meant to be used. I don't believe that the purpose of this is to be able to disassemble it as needed, but rather to ship it to you. That keeps it affordable. The most expensive part where manufacturers lose money is in the shipping process. Very expensive to get products to people. And I think this is ingenious, the way that this is put together. I can tell you right now that the tolerances on this are fantastic. I bet you had I taken a little bit more care, I could have made these be perfectly flush, but this is the first one I've built, and I would say it's a win. Now, why would you want one of these over a regular fire pit or something like a solo stove? If you're not familiar with those, this is a smokeless fire ring. And by smokeless, what that really means is a significantly reduced amount of smoke. This works a lot like many of your modern wood stoves, where if you take a look, you've got a series of holes, interior and exterior, and these serve as intakes here as well. Though it's super cool, it's not just for looks. And what that allows for is a reburn of the unspent or unburnt fuel leaving your campfire. That gives a more complete burn, and the side benefit of that is a nice hot clean fire where everyone likes a little bit of campfire smoke, but no one wants to be absolutely inundated with tons of smoke billowing at them. Another thing that's important to realize is that it's not smokeless from the very first light of the fire. It will be smokeless once the fire gets up to temperature. And that's important for you to know. Like I said earlier, this is a sponsored video, but this product caught my eye for a couple reasons. I've already mentioned that the other fire pits didn't last us very long. I viewed them as a waste of money. $100+ for something that really lasted a season. The welds started breaking, it rusted through, and it was really a piece of junk. I started looking at the solo stoves and other products like them, but after Wolfe announced this some time ago, I thought it was super cool. And the reason why it's super cool is this ring is not going to just stay here. We're going to take this ring camping with us. It's coming the season where we like to camp. A fire pit without a bottom is going to be fantastic because we can throw it in the back of the truck, put some gear in it, some firewood or whatever we want to, and nor are we worrying about getting hot ashes out of it in the morning or a dusty mess when it's time to pack up and get going. I bet you many of you are dying to see a fire in this thing. We're extremely dry in Oklahoma right now. We have a burn ban that is absolutely not optimal for the making of this video, but as soon as I can, we're gonna get going on this. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna release the videos in this series. There's gonna be content about making this fire pit area. We're on hillsides in Oklahoma here, and we have always wanted something like this. And again, these logs may be back here pretty far, but what we're gonna do here is this is gonna give us the ability to move them closer or further or set some aside for a more intimate experience or whatever. And that is just super exciting. Everyone, if this is interesting to you, there will be links down in the description so you can go ahead and take a look at these, look at the two sizes, think about it. If you need to, you can reach out to Wolfe, but I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Very, very simple to build. Take a look, get one ordered for you for this season. I think it'll be a pretty neat deal. Obviously, I haven't got to use it yet, but it's a fire ring, and I think it's a cool looking fire ring, and the idea of less smoke is definitely a winner for me. Thank you for watching the Okie Woodsman channel, and I'll see you on the next one.